Thank you so much for joining us today at Everyday Yoga. My name is Christine. My pronouns are she and her. I have been offering a land acknowledgement the last few meetings, but after a discussion with a coworker at Oregon Health Authority, we're trying to look for ways that offer that acknowledgement without offering any offense. So I'm going to back off from that for now until we come up with a way to do it in a way that honors and respects everyone. So with that being said, let us start with a mat practice today. So I'm down on the floor. I'm going to just take a little cushion and I'm going to sit not necessarily directly on it, but kind of towards the front of the cushion, just enough to lift my tailbone and the back of my hips up off the ground so that I can pull one foot in towards the center and the other one right in front. And that will allow my knees to come all the way down and to have a nice balance throughout the body. So if you have a cushion or a blanket or a rolled up towel or a block or something of that nature that you can sit on, see if that brings just a little more comfort and a little more ease to your practice today. So as always, let's come into the present moment. Let's let go of anything that's happened so far today or last month or last year, all those old stories we play in our heads. Let's let go of anything that might happen in the future, whether you've got work to do later, or you're planning a meal, or you're looking for a job or a place to live. Just let all of that stuff go for now. Right here, right now, in this moment. We are all safe. We are all breathing. We likely all have a roof over our heads. And let's just bring a little acknowledgement of appreciation to ourselves in this present moment. So coming into the present moment, we can do a couple of things. We can focus on the breath. We can focus on the body. We can ground ourselves by being very mindful of where our bodies are connected to the supports around us. We can center ourselves. So these are all ways that we can come into the present moment. So let's just start by centering ourselves. So literally just rock back a bit, rock forward. Just a gentle rhythmic rocking. Maybe as you do this, you might notice your breath. And you might close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And maybe begin to rock a little bit from side to side. Maybe letting the head kind of go and involving the neck and the shoulders. Let it be nice and slow and soft. Maybe as you rock over towards the left, the right ear comes to the right shoulder. And as you rock towards the right, the left ear comes to the left shoulder. And as you do this, let's also make some circles. So let's inhale forward. And as we exhale, let's round back through the right, all the way to the back. And inhale through the left side and all the way forward again. And you might, as you make these circles, kind of take a gentle cat-cow. So as you inhale forward, lift the heart, arch the back. And as you exhale back, bring the chest or the chin down towards the chest and the belly button towards the spine. Rounding the back body. You might keep it more upright, small movements, or you might really get down there, getting the whole body involved. And when you're ready, go ahead and switch the direction of the circles, backing in through the left and rising up through the right. And our goal here when we're done with this movement is to end up centered. So we have felt what it feels like to be too far forward and too far back, and too far to one side or the other. So let's press all the way back to cat. And as we inhale, we'll come forward to a nice, tall, centered spine. And then just notice the breath. Inhale and exhale, nice and slow and smooth and soft. Maybe finding that balanced breath where you're exhaling for the same length of time it takes you to inhale. So you might just count inside to yourself, how long does it take you to inhale? Maybe it's inhaling for 1, 2, 3, and exhaling for 1, 2, 3. Might be 2, might be 6, it doesn't matter. Just find what a balanced breath looks like for you. And so as we're centered here and we're following the breath, we can really focus on the support of your mat or whatever you're sitting on beneath your legs and your sit bones. We can draw the crown of the head up towards the sky and maybe imagine you have little elf ears and you're drawing the tips of the ears up towards the sky. And as you do, just notice how the chin sort of automatically tucks in just a little bit, getting you greater length in the neck, making it a nice extension of the spine. And let's roll the shoulders up and back and down. Up and back and down. Few times here. And the next time, let that be your last time and really anchor those shoulder blades down the back, just like you're trying to tuck them in your back pockets. Nice tall spine, tucked chin, lifted heart, centered and grounded here. And as we practice today, I invite you to bring to your intention just to stay present. And if you do notice that your thoughts start to wander off, just bring your awareness back into the present moment by focusing on your breath, by focusing on this centeredness feeling, by focusing on the ground beneath your body. And we'll just inhale here. And exhale, maybe letting it go through the mouth. We'll breathe like that 2 more breaths, inhaling through the nose and letting it go out the mouth with a sigh. 1 more time. Let's go ahead and remove anything you might be sitting on and set it aside for now. And we'll come down to the mat into child's pose. In child pose here, you can have your legs parallel. And as you come forward, bring your fingertips to the mat, tuck your toes under and press the hips back towards the heels and find a nice extended child's pose. You can bring your forehead to a block if that feels good to you. Or you can sink the heart and the forehead down towards the mat and really draw the shoulders back, drawing the shoulder blades back towards one another. Maybe even pressing into the mat as you draw the shoulders back and towards one another to really open up through the front of the body and squeeze any tension out from behind the shoulder blades. 1 more inhale here. Stay for the exhale and soften. And then we'll inhale up to our tabletop. Parallel those index fingers and spread the fingers wide and really press into the fingers. Parallel the shins and the feet and have those knees underneath the hips. And we'll do a few rounds of cat-cow here. So let's tuck the toes and gently bend the elbows. Let the belly come down. Lift the tailbone, lift the gaze into your cow pose. And as you exhale, bring the tops of the feet to the earth, round back, drawing belly button towards spine and dropping the head down. Inhale into your cow pose, focusing on the stretch across the front of the body from the pubic bone all the way up into the throat. Exhale into your cat pose, noticing the opening in the back body from the base of the tailbone all the way to the crown of the skull. And as you move, let this be a moving meditation, keeping your attention on the movement and on the breath. We'll inhale once more into your cow pose, and as we exhale, we'll press all the way back into your extended child's pose. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, extended child's pose. Let's do that 2 more times. And as we open and close the pits of the body, the armpits and the groin, we're stimulating the adrenal glands and helping to reboot the lymphatic system, which is super duper important for clearing out impurities in the body. Next time you end up in extended child's pose, go ahead and turn the tops of the feet to the earth. Take the knees as wide as the mat and just allow yourself to sink downward. Let's just take that left arm and press up just enough to bring the left arm underneath the right, threading the needle here, bringing the left temple down to the mat, the left shoulder. You might reach that right arm out long or tent those fingertips like we did in extended child's. Or you might want to walk those fingertips over to the left side of the mat, just a couple inches, just enough to really open up the right side of the body. And you might really anchor that right hip down towards the heels, getting really, really nice and long here. Inhale and exhale. As you inhale, allow the body to expand. And as you exhale, allow the body to soften. One more full breath here. And then we'll just very gently, without much fuss, switch sides. Bringing the right arm underneath the left. Bringing the right shoulder and temple down to the earth. Maybe stretching that left arm out long, maybe relaxing it down, or maybe tenting those fingers up and walking them over towards the right side of the mat a little bit more. Getting a big stretch in the left side of the body and really getting that right shoulder blade nice and open here. We'll take a couple breaths here, again, expanding as you inhale. Softening as you exhale. One more time. And then we'll go ahead and come back to center. Let's inhale, paralleling the legs, finding your cow pose. Exhaling your cat pose. And then we'll come back to tabletop here. And let's extend the right leg out to the side. So we're on hands and knees here in tabletop in the 2 arms and the left knee. But the right leg is extended out to the side with the sole of the foot pressing down onto the earth. And I'm going to back up a little bit so you can see that. Or actually, I think what I'll do is just turn towards you and extend my foot out the long way. So you can probably see that here. And we're just gonna rock back and forth a little bit, opening up through the right hip. And from here, we can also make some circles. So let's kind of bend that right knee just a little bit and press back towards the hips. And then straighten the right knee and come around into a circle. So we're bending, going over to the right, straightening, coming up through the left. Just let it be funky and free. Tap into your inner modern dancer a little bit here. If you notice any snap, crackles, or pops, as long as they feel good or at least pain-free, call that a free chiropractic treatment. And then we'll come back to center and we'll go ahead and walk the hands back towards us, coming in to a high one-sided kneeling here, bringing the hands to the hips, still pressing into the whole sole of that right foot. Getting nice and long again, letting those shoulder blades come down the back. And we'll inhale the arms out to a T shape. Take a breath here. And then let's bring the right hand down to the right thigh and inhale the left fingertips up towards the sky. Notice how long you can get from the left knee all the way up to the left fingertips. One more inhale breath here, and we'll exhale, just bending over towards the right any amount. Making sure not to put any pressure on this right knee here. You might take your gaze out in front of you. It might feel better in your neck to look towards the left tricep here. It might feel better to look down towards the right foot. Just notice what feels really good in your neck and your shoulders and stay there. One more big breath here. We'll inhale the arms back to a T, and we'll exhale to bring the left hand down to the earth, keeping that right foot anchored. If you have blocks and you want to bring the ground a little closer to you, you can use the block underneath the left palm here. And we can draw that right arm up alongside the left, across the collarbones and shoulders, and reach it up towards the sky. So we're pressing down into the mat with the left hand as we reach up to the sky with the right hand. Find space across the heart. Again, take the gaze wherever it serves you best. You might want to stay here, or you might want to get even longer, bringing that right arm alongside the right ear, making a beautiful diagonal line from the outside of the right foot all the way up to the fingertips. And if you like to get a little bit of movement in the shoulders here, the next time you exhale, let those right fingertips come down towards the earth and around in a big circle. Inhaling the fingers up towards the sky again. Exhaling them down and around. Opening up the shoulder as much as feels good to you. Maybe tracking the movement of the arm with your gaze, so you're also getting some movement in the neck. Next time the arm comes out long, let's reverse those circles. Inhaling the fingertips back towards the sky. And exhaling to bring them down and around in the opposite direction. You might really draw that shoulder back and opening up the heart as you move along. Next time we inhale, let's use that momentum to come all the way back up to our T. And we'll bring the knees underneath the hips and sit down into your hero's pose. If you're using a block, switch it to the opposite side. And we'll take a moment here to just reconnect with the breath and the body, coming back into that present moment, letting go of any outside thoughts without judgment. Happens to everybody. It's just good practice to keep reminding yourself to come back. So let's come back into that tabletop position once again, and we'll send the left leg out long, pressing the outside edge of the left foot down to the mat. And we'll just rock back and forth a little bit, getting a little movement in that left hip socket. And if you want to tap into that inner contemporary dancer, you can make your circles, bending the left knee, coming back and down and around a few times, and maybe moving in the opposite direction a few times. And then we'll walk the hands in towards the body and come up to that T shape once again. Take a full breath there, and then let that left hand come gently down to the left thigh. Inhale the right fingertips up towards the sky. Find length in the right side body. Inhaling here. Exhaling to tilt any amount over towards the left. Getting long and strong in the right side body. Being careful with that left knee here. If you notice any noise on my end, I've got neighbors. Just let that be part of your present experience. We'll inhale once more here, and we'll exhale to bring the right hand down to your block or a mat, whatever you might be using. And let's just bring those left fingertips up towards the sky, maybe drawing them along the arm and drawing them up like a bow. If you want to get a little bit longer in the left side body, you can bring the left arm across the left ear, taking the gaze wherever it feels good in your neck and shoulders. Press into that outside edge of the left foot, reaching the fingertips far and away. Then we'll find those same circles on this side, exhaling the left fingertips down and around and up as you inhale. Again, keeping these circles a size that feels good to you. It might not feel good to have big, broad circles. Who knows what's going on in everybody's shoulders today? So do what's best for you. The next time the arm is alongside the ear, let's reverse those circles. Inhaling the fingertips up towards the sky. Exhaling to bring them down towards the earth. One more time. The next time we inhale, we'll bring that momentum all the way up with us, coming into a T and then back down to your hero's pose. And let's just sit here for a moment, reconnecting with that balanced breath that you cultivated at the beginning of our practice. Maybe closing the eyes, softening the jaw, softening the shoulders. And just letting this be enough. In our Western culture, there's so much value in activity and production and doing. We find our value in getting things done. But part of taking care of ourselves is finding homeostasis and balance in the body. And if we're constantly going, we can't slow down enough to come back to balance. So invite yourself to grant yourself permission to just let this be enough. One more breath here. And then let's go ahead and come down to the back. You can center yourself on your mat, bend your knees up towards the sky, and bring the feet out about as wide as the mat. Bring your hands behind you here, and we'll just windshield wiper the knees from one side to the other. You might take your gaze in the opposite direction as you find this gentle twist. Inhaling the gaze left as the knees go right. Inhaling the gaze right as the knees go left. And then we'll come back to center, and we'll just roll down to the back. As slow or as fast as you want to get there. And we're going to come into a bridge pose. So bring the feet as close to the sit bones as you can get. You might even reach down with your fingertips and see if you can touch the backs of the heels here. If not, no big deal. Just reach as close as you can comfortably get. And we'll settle those hips down to the mat, and we'll bring the palms down to the earth. Let's just rock the hips back and forth a little bit, tilting the pelvis towards the face, tilting the pelvis away from the face, just getting a little bit of movement here in the hips. And the next time we tilt the pelvis towards the face, let's go ahead and lift those hips up towards the sky. And as we exhale, we'll just roll them down towards the earth. Couple of rolling bridges here. Inhaling, rolling up the spine, coming towards the shoulder blades. Exhale, rolling the spine one vertebra at a time down to the mat. And just focusing not so much on this pressing of the hips as the massaging of the back. Next time we lift the hips, let's lift the arms up towards the sky too, and bring the arms up and overhead, maybe bringing the backs of the hands to the floor. And as we exhale, we'll bring hands and hips back down to the mat. We'll inhale, hands and hips up towards the sky, hands go overhead. And we'll exhale, hands and hips back down towards the earth. One more time, let's inhale, hands and hips up towards the sky. Keep the hands here, really lift those hips up. And then keeping the arms where they are, roll one vertebrae at a time back down to the mat. And then again, we'll take the feet as wide as the mat. And let's just bring the knees over towards the right here. And just stay here for a couple of breaths, finding all this wonderful space in the left side of the body. And then we'll inhale the knees back towards the sky and exhale to take them over towards the left, finding that same extension in the right side of the body. And then we'll inhale the knees back up towards the sky. And we'll stretch the legs out nice and long. And let's inhale and make a big X with the body on the mat here. So your hands are at the top corners, feet are at the bottom corners. And we're just gonna hug the right leg and the right arm over towards the right, getting a nice stretch here in the right side body. This might be enough, but if you want to go deeper, you can hold on to the right wrist with the left hand and cross the left ankle with the right. And just breathe into that right side body. Maybe even imagine the right lung in particular expanding as you inhale. Imagine all the space you're creating in between the ribs, in the armpit and the hips. One more big breath here. We'll inhale all the way back to center, stretching long from fingertips to toe tips in a good morning type of a stretch. And then we'll come back to that X shape. And then we'll hug the left leg and arm over towards the right side. And maybe going for that deeper stretch by holding on to the left wrist with the right fingers and crossing the right ankle with the left. Our banana asana or crescent shape supine pose. Take a couple of breaths here, focusing on expanding that left lung, making space in between each rib and the armpit, all the way up into the tricep. One more big breath. And then we'll inhale everything back to center, nice and long. And exhale out the mouth with a sigh. And then we're just going to take a short little meditative Shavasana today. And if you want to come up to a seat, you can. But if you want to stay down in Shavasana and you have some blocks or bolsters or blankets, I invite you to place those supports underneath the calves so that the feet can float free. And then we'll come back down to the mat. You might need to adjust your support under your calves here to make sure that there's no pressure on the back of the knee. And just kind of hug yourself down towards the earth. Maybe press into the triceps just enough to lift the heart and hug the shoulder blades in towards one another. Lift the head just enough to tuck the chin. Open the arms up towards the sky. Let the palms shine upward. And just with this little bit of elevation here in the legs, we can help to bring the blood and the lymphatic fluid back towards the heart, where it can be processed. And whether you're lying in traditional Shavasana or the supported Shavasana, or if you have found a nice meditative seat, let's just come back to the body. And let's just take a moment to find something that we are appreciative of. Something small that we can count on in every day of our life. It might be that first cup of tea in the morning or the sunrise. It might be that you get to stay in late and sleep in late and never have to see the sunrise. It might be that you have nice soft sheets or a warm bed, just something that you appreciate, that you can count on every day. And just offer that thing your appreciation. And then think about something that brings a smile to your face. Maybe it is the antics of your furry family member. Maybe you've got kids or grandkids running around that make you smile. Maybe it's an inside joke with a friend. Something that always makes you smile. Even imagine that smile, or maybe even bring an actual smile to your face. Breathe there for another breath. Thinking on what you appreciate and what makes you smile. And then bring to mind a place that makes you feel peaceful. It might be your own home, your own bed. It might be the beach, maybe floating on a lake, maybe walking in the woods. It might be a place you've been to or a place you hope to go to, or might even be an imaginary place. But some place that you can bring to mind that brings you a sense of peace. we'll stay there for a breath or two. Focusing on what we appreciate, what makes us smile, a place that's peaceful. And then think of someone or something that you love. You automatically go to kids, parents, significant others. Be mindful that those relationships can sometimes be a little complicated, and maybe keep it a little simpler than that. You might focus on your kitty or your puppy. You might focus on a child in your midst, or maybe it is a significant other, or your kid, or your mom, or your daughter, whatever. Someone or something that you love. Maybe it's something, maybe it's donuts, but something that just makes you go, oh, I love that so much. So now we're thinking of something we appreciate, something that makes us smile, a peaceful place, and something that we love. And with all of that wonderful goodness flowing through you, bring your attention back to your breath, focusing on the rise and fall of your belly, the rise and fall of your heart. Maybe even imagine that you're breathing into and out of that heart. And we'll just stay there for 3 more full breaths. Inhaling love and appreciation and peace. Exhaling smiles and love and appreciation. Letting all of those good feelings flow throughout your body. One more breath there. And then we'll just start rocking the feet a little from side to side. Maybe wiggle the toes. Maybe point and flex the feet, or make some circles in the ankle. And if you make circles in one way, be sure you make circles in the opposite way to bring balance. And then we'll go ahead and bend one knee and then the other, and bring the arch of the foot to the edge of your blocks or whatever support you have. And you might rock your knees a little bit from side to side here. And then just push your supports away and come into that great big good morning stretch once again, making yourself as long as you can from toe tip to fingertips. And then while keeping those arms extended, let's bend one knee and then the other, bringing the soles of the feet to the earth and rolling to whatever side serves you best, maybe keeping the eyes closed if they're not still already, and really hug those knees in towards the heart and wrap that top arm around the top leg and give yourself just a little hug here. Take a full breath. And then we'll press ourselves up to a nice tall seat. If you had your legs crossed at the beginning of the practice and you can remember how they were crossed, you might take the opposite. So I think I had my right foot in at the beginning, so I'll have my left foot in at the end. Either that, or you can sit in Dandasana with the legs out straight. We'll roll those shoulders up and back and down a couple more times here. And we'll take the chin down to the chest, getting a bit of a stretch in the back of the neck. Maybe taking the gaze over towards the right and then over towards the left and then back to center. Lift the head to the top of the spine and then maybe look up towards the sky, getting a big stretch across the front of the throat. Then maybe tilting the ear towards the right and then towards the left. And then coming back to center and tucking that chin, creating that nice, long, beautiful spine. And then we'll inhale the arms out to the sides and reach them up alongside the ears, bringing the palms together. And we'll exhale the hands down to the heart. And we can bring the chin down towards the fingertips as we tilt forward gently. And bring some honor and respect and appreciation to yourself, as well as to those who have shared this practice, either with you in real time or later on in a recording. Thank you so much for being here today. The light within me honors the light within each of you. Namaste.